Did you see that rush of water come in down there? No, it's still coming in. Can you see that?
That it could be the so-called flood tunnel booby trap system. Of course, we're going to investigate.
Something is squirting up from the bottom of the pit, and it's freaking awesome. The team at Smith's Cove just hit what looks like a flood tunnel. This is the key detail they've been looking for on Oak Island for 200 years. But it's not that simple, though. The ground is giving way and the whole edge is about to go. Everyone's obsessed with the treasure, but the island is fighting back with a booby trap designed to protect the money pit. If they can't shut off the water, the treasure will stay buried forever under the mud, unstable ground, and geysers. Everything changes when you see water rising up from the bottom of a hole like a geyser. Marty Lagina joins the team at the uplands near Smith's Cove, and the scene is total chaos. Craig Tester, Jack Begley, and Gary Drayton are standing on the edge of a discovery that is as exciting as it's terrifying. The water isn't just seeping in, it's rushing. You can actually see it squirting up in the back corner of the dig site. It's a key detail that suggests they might have finally poked the sleeping giant that is the Oak Island booby trap system. For over 2 centuries, treasure hunters have tried to find these flood tunnels. They were built to make sure that anyone who got close to the money pit would be met with an endless flow of seawater. Now it looks like the team is staring right at the source of that frustration.
2 things. I'm going to look, but he's done. He's undermining right there. There's hardly anything left.
But here's the catch. The ground isn't stable. As the water rushes in, it's undermining the soil beneath their feet. You can see a crack forming in the earth, and the base is giving way. It's a terrifying reminder that the island itself is a dangerous place to work. Suddenly, a big piece of the edge falls away, and the team realizes they are in a lot of trouble. If that whole bridge goes, it could take someone with it. This is nutso, and everyone knows it. They have to get out of there before the earth swallows them whole. It's a tough pill to swallow because they're so close to finding the flood tunnel itself. The water appears to be rushing in from the landward side, which is a very impressive sign for the investigation. Before we go further, if you love deep dive breakdowns like this, make sure you're subscribed to Bravo Tango. It's the only channel that tracks every clue, every crack in the ground, and every discovery the moment it happens. Now, back to the show. Unfortunately, the flood tunnel did exactly what it was designed to do more than 2 centuries ago. It frustrated the efforts of the team to shut off the water. The hole is caving in fast and they've lost a ton of progress. Billy Gerhardt, the heavy equipment expert, has to act quickly to backfill the hole just to make the area stable again.
Problem with doing this the simple way, which with a long-reach excavator, is that we do not have a stable hole. I mean, if we had dug a big pit with stable sides, then we could go down and look at it.
This means any further digging will have to wait until the ground is settled. It's a setback that hurts, but it's the only way to stay safe. They take big risks out here, and it would be foolhardy to keep digging when the ground is sloughing off every few seconds. They have to reposition and figure out a new plan to see what's down there without putting lives at risk. The excitement is still high, though, because this could be the so-called flood tunnel booby trap system. They have to see what it looks like, even if they can't get down there themselves. The team decides to mount a camera on the bucket of the long-reach excavator. It's the simple way to get a look at the structure without risking a cave-in. As the camera goes down 30 feet, they see all kinds of wood everywhere. There is definitely a structure on the left wall, and it looks like a hole that might be a tunnel. It seems to be braced with wood, which suggests it's not just a natural void in the earth. It's a linear feature that goes in deep, and it looks like a beam is holding it up. The team watches the footage carefully, and the tension is through the roof. They see a double layer of wood, which could be a double-walled shaft or tunnel. Rick Lagina points out that the boards on the right are much more substantial, maybe over 2 inches thick. This isn't just some random searcher effort. This looks like original work. If the data comes back and shows the wood is older than 1795, then they found something historic. It's a wooden Pandora's box that's been opened, and it could lead them straight to the treasure if they can just figure out how to navigate the water. The team must now face a reality that could change the entire season. Mysterious linear wooden feature. What most people don't realize is that finding a tunnel on Oak Island is like finding a needle in a haystack made of water and mud. The team gathers in the war room to discuss the footage from the camera. They're looking at a spot 30 feet down where the wood is clear as day. It looks like a tunnel that's been filled with rock, or maybe a collapsed shaft. Paul Troutman thinks it looks like a collapsed tumbler shaft, and the wood on either side supports that theory. You can see a piece that looks like a beam, and the wood at the bottom is coming out in a way that suggests a deliberate structure. Rick Lagina is clearly impressed by the double-walled appearance. It's a level of engineering that points towards something significant. Steve Guptill shows how the location lines up with calculations made by Craig Tester based on the U-shaped structure found earlier. If this is a tunnel and not a shaft, it changes the way they look at the entire Smith's Cove area. It's hard to imagine this being part of a searcher effort because of how it's built and where it's located. The big question is the age of the wood. Dendrochronology is the science of dating wood by its rings, and if this wood is pre-discovery, then it's almost certainly part of the original flood tunnel system. The idea that they are right back at the heart of the mystery is enough to keep everyone's heart racing. If that data comes back old, they have a massive clue. But here's the deal. There's bad news on the horizon. They have a very specific timeline for pulling the sheet pile that makes up the cofferdam. Removing that massive steel structure will take weeks, and it will make working at Smith's Cove and the nearby uplands virtually impossible. They are looking at the end of the year's search in this specific area. It's a disappointing and unfortunate reality that hits the team hard, just as they've found something promising. Rick and Marty know they can't give up on something like this. If you have undisturbed soil, then a bunch of wood, and then more undisturbed soil, that sure sounds like a tunnel. It's exactly where the flood tunnel needs to be to make sense of the booby trap. But their permits aren't going to allow them to do any more excavation this year. They're done for now. It's a frustrating end to a very active dig, but the key piece of data is yet to come. They're all keenly interested in the results of the wood testing. That information could lead them anywhere, and it might be the breakthrough they've waited for since they started this journey. As they wrap up the meeting, there's a sense that they've opened up something huge. The timbers are all different sizes and shapes, suggesting a complex system that was once very strong. Maybe they cut through the fabled flood tunnel, and now they just have to follow it back. It could be another clue as to where the original money pit was actually located. They've only just got into it, and the mystery is only getting deeper. The team is already planning for the future, even as they prepare to pull out of the cove for the season. A new discovery in the mud is about to turn everything upside down. Verifying original work with science. Just when they think the day is over, Gary Drayton and Jack Begley find something that stops everyone in their tracks. It looks like a clump of hair, but it's actually coconut fiber. This is a massive deal because there are no coconut trees anywhere near Oak Island. In fact, the nearest indigenous trees are more than 1,500 miles away. Finding this material deep in the ground is a classic sign of original work on the island. Dan McGinnis and his team found coconut fiber 60 feet deep in the original money pit back in 1804. Then, in 1850, members of the Trudeau Company found a massive layer of it at Smith's Cove. The theory is that the coconut fiber was used as a filter for the 5 stone box drains. These drains converged into the main flood tunnel, and the fiber kept the sand and debris from clogging the system. If the team has found a fresh supply of this fiber, it means they are likely standing on top of the original booby trap. It's hair-like and clumped together in the mud, and there is a lot of it. Jack Begley finds big chunks of it, and the team is careful to bag it without touching it to keep the sample clean. They need a definitive science-based test to confirm what it is. Rick Lagina is especially excited because coconut fiber is one of the few things absolutely unique to this quest. It represents original work and confirms the old stories about gobs of the stuff being found by previous searchers like the Restalls. Nobody else would have put coconut fiber down there while they were working in Smith's Cove. It's a fingerprint of the original builders. If they can verify this material, they are closer than ever to shutting off the booby trap that has thwarted everyone for over 2 centuries. The presence of the fiber suggests that they aren't just digging in a random spot. They are in the heart of the system. The team gathers in the war room to hear from geoscientist Dr. Ian Spooner. He's been analyzing the samples, and the news is historic. He confirms that the material is indeed coconut fiber. This is a huge win for the team and a major development for the show. It suggests that after years of searching, they might finally be on the verge of locating the main flood tunnel. This structure was built more than 2 centuries ago to protect something believed to be of great value buried in the money pit. Finding the filter for the system means the system itself is close by. Marty Lagina notes that they've found lots of structures in Smith's Cove before, but this one is different. The presence of coconut fiber is a key difference that makes this site special. It corroborates the old stories and gives the team the confidence they need to keep pushing forward. They are closing in on the truth, and every piece of evidence like this makes the mystery feel more solvable. The confirmation of the fiber is a high point for the season, even with the looming deadline to stop the dig. The scientific proof is in, but the clock is still running out fast. Unfinished business at Smith's Cove. The reality of the situation is starting to sink in for everyone on the team. In less than 24 hours, representatives from Irving Equipment are going to arrive. They're bringing in heavy equipment to start removing the massive steel cofferdam. This operation is huge and will take several weeks to complete. During that time, it will be impossible to do any more work in Smith's Cove or the nearby uplands. The team has to suspend their search activities for the rest of the year. It's a bitter pill to swallow when you've just found coconut fiber and a potential tunnel. Rick and Marty have to accept that they're done for the season in this area. They've found evidence that corroborates the old stories, and that's a big win, but they can't go any further right now. The permits and the logistics just won't allow it. But they aren't giving up. They are certainly finding what people were originally looking for, and they believe they are absolutely closing in on the main flood tunnel. The evidence they've gathered this year is some of the strongest in the history of the island. They've found the wood, they've seen the water, and they've confirmed the coconut fiber. The feeling in the war room is one of determination. They have evidence that there is original work going on here. They have a wooden Pandora's box that they've only just started to explore. Even though they have to stop now, the data they've collected will be used to plan the next stage of the search. They've opened up a lot of questions, but they've also found some very solid answers. The mystery of Oak Island has always been a game of patience and perseverance, and the Lagina brothers have plenty of both. As the heavy equipment starts to move in, the team looks back at what they've accomplished. They've faced the dangerous geysers and the unstable ground. They've used technology to see where they couldn't go. And they've used science to prove that the legends are based on fact. The flood tunnels are real, the booby traps are real, and the coconut fiber is proof of it all. It's a powerful end to a chapter of the search, and it leaves everyone wondering what they will find when they can finally get back into the ground next year. The hunt for the money pit continues, but Smith's Cove will have to keep its secrets for a little while longer. The team is leaving with more information than they've ever had before. They know the system is there, and they know it's working. The challenge now is to find a way to beat the system and get to the treasure that's been guarded for so long. It's a battle between human ingenuity and a 200-year-old trap, and the team is ready for the next round. Could the flood tunnel be the only thing left between the team and the gold? What if the water is actually protecting something even bigger than we thought? Let us know in the comments what you think. And if you want to stay ahead of every breakthrough and every twist in the mystery, make sure to subscribe to Bravo Tango. We're here for every discovery, no matter where the trail leads next.